so to speak. And, we didn't have some great possessions on offense in terms of taking advantage of what was there. And then to your point, I thought, in that fourth, they started to play through us physically and started to come up with some rebounds. And, we just had a hard time at points in time in the fourth with their size. And to your point, some of the defensive stuff around the basket.
I mean, given that you matched their physicality for 3 quarters and then have that drop off in the fourth, is that disappointing?
Yeah, I mean, it is. I mean, like I told them in there, I love the way we competed. I love the way the mentality of going into the game. But the bottom line, it's not enough. It's not enough. And, I know our margins are small, but I do think the controllable things we can be better. And that's not to say we would have won the game, but the game kind of got away from us because of some of the things that you had mentioned. And you know what? We can't have that. We have to be better in those areas.
To the point about physicality, it's been pretty clear that Vooch struggles with some of these more physical centers. How do you accommodate that when you don't have, Jalen and Zach in kind of?
Yeah, I mean, I think that, in some of this stuff, Julia, it's just kind of what we have to deal with, and everybody's got to be a little bit better, and certainly Stewart around the basket, was there. Certainly Thompson around the basket, even Reed at times. So really collectively, it was good. I know the call got overturned, but there was one play we tried to put our body in there and take a charge. But we have to meet some of those roles a little bit earlier. We got to be a little bit more physical. We knew it was going to be a physical game. I think there was a lot of plays in the game that there were fouls that no fouls were called for both teams. So I think it was a consistently officiated game across the board. And I like the way our guys physically competed. But, in those moments where it's kind of crunch time or, got to have a possession or a valuable possession, whether it was we didn't really make the right decision in terms of spraying the ball or making a read on the defense or, to your point, the physicality. And, as we're down bodies, in particular in the front court, we're going to need everybody's going to have to help to a certain extent, and we all got to probably be a little bit better.
What are you seeing from Modest? I mean, we keep talking about his decisiveness. Did you see more of that on the offensive end tonight?
Yeah, I mean, I think he's doing a good job of taking what's there immediately, whether it's catch and shoot, catch and goes, playing in pick and roll. He's decisive. I think the one thing that helps us, where we have a hard time sometimes, is as great as Trey is taking care of the ball, an assist-to-turnover ratio guy, and I think as much as Io's improved, there are times with their size, with coverages that are aggressive, them seeing over,
right,
or around coverages, right? And Modest can do that for us. He's got the size where if it is an aggressive coverage, he has the ability to kind of see it and throw it over the top a little bit more. So, I think he's rounding out his game in terms of doing a little bit of everything. He's shooting the ball, he's taking it to the basket, he's playing in pick and roll. He's making plays off the dribble for others. He's done a good job. I think that in the third quarter when we were playing well in the third, I thought that the things that were open, that were generating good looks for us, I don't want to say we got away from it because I think our guys' intention is always really good. We just didn't see or missed the moment, and we were late, and there was a couple of times we held on to it too long, or we let them recover when we had an advantage. We lost the advantage. But I think Modest is, for us, can generate some of those advantages when they're there with his passing.
I know you don't judge his defense off of walks, but he had 4 tonight. He came in ranked 12th overall in the league in terms of block shots. What do you see from him just in terms of his ability to kind of predict and put his body in the right place for those?
I think one of the things that's happening with him is I think pick and roll coverage is up top. When he's low and underneath along the baseline, he's seeing it happen before it's happening, and he's pulling in and he's putting himself in a position to make those plays. That's been probably the biggest growth I've seen in him so far defensively. There are times where, we talked about some of the isolation post-up stuff where he gets overwhelmed physically sometimes, which he'll get better at. But the one thing about his shot blocking is he can't be there to shot block if he's not there, and he's starting to see what's happening up top and how the floor's balanced and spaced, and now he's moving in. There was a lot of times as we would tell him, you're on the outside looking in, he's outside the lane line, and there's a roll coming down the lane, and he's too late, and he can't get his shot blocking in there. Now, at least he's kind of positioned where he can come over and use his size and length.
Thanks a lot, Bill.
Yep, guys, thank you. Okay, be safe, travel.